the richest and the most powerful criminal organization in Italy, the 'Ndrangheta. The topic of today's video is a crime syndicate that is not only considered Italy's most potent mobster, but also one of the world's most extensive and sophisticated criminal organizations. It is assumed to be a less organized version of the Sicilian Cosa Nostra. However, over time, this lawbreaker group's revenue has grown to be similar to the GDP of various European countries. Of course, we're speaking about the 'Ndrangheta. Have you ever heard of them? If not, let us rapidly introduce you to them. What is the 'Ndrangheta and what is it used for? The 'Ndrangheta. Since the late 1800s, the 'Ndrangheta has been a well-established Italian mobster evil organization and criminal organization based in Calabria's peninsula and mountainous area. It is viewed as one of the most powerful organized criminal gangs in the world, following public outmigration from Calabria in the 1950s. The group spread throughout the world. The 'Ndrangheta is Italy's only mafia-style criminal organization that has retained the celebrations that made it popular in the past, passing them down verbally and through rules that have only recently been discovered. It has a horizontal organization of impartial chiefdoms known as Ndrin, which is based almost entirely on family relationships, big bucks, big crime. Calabria, located at the heel of Italy's boot, is home to a vast network of Ndrina, or clans. According to a 2014 Domoscopic Research Institute assessment, the 'Ndrangheta now earns up to $60 billion more per year than the Deutsche Bank and McDonald's combined. To put that into perspective, their yearly income surpasses the GDP of entire countries such as Jordan, Lebanon, and Uruguay. The group's preferences range from supposedly legal construction, renewable energy, and waste management businesses to criminal operations such as fraud, extortion, high-level corruption, and people and weapon trafficking. 'Ndrangheta has long been known as specialist money launderer, swiftly transiting the global financial system and concealing the origins of their wealth through complex ownership structures and financial state secret rules. Scholarly studies, however, suggest that the 'Ndrangheta's main source of revenue is narcotics, with the organization controlling some of the world's most lucrative trafficking routes. According to the Italian Senate, the group may control more than 80% of the European cocaine trade. Origin of 'Ndrangheta. In the 1980s and 1990s, the 'Ndrangheta merged its power by controlling the European cocaine market. On August 17, 2007, 6 men of Calabrian origin were killed in the German town of Duisburg, making international headlines. However, in comparison to other structured criminal organizations in southern Italy, little is known about the Calabrian mafia's origins in the late 19th century. The first reports of organized crime in Calabria appeared in the 1860s and 1870s, but it wasn't until the 1880s that overpowering proof of existence of the 'Ndrangheta rose. But how and why did the 'Ndrangheta emerge? Traditional explanations blamed Calabrian society's violence, familism, and patronage politics for the region's mafia. This assertion was challenged during the lecture by the use of previously unknown archival sources discovered in Calabria. Newspapers began reporting knife fights, razor attacks, and extortion rackets in the Calabrian town of Palmi in the spring of 1888. In 1889 and 1890, the Italian authorities reacted by charging a number of criminal gangs. Documents from these trials show that the 'Ndrangheta began in the Calabrian prison system in the late 1800s. Magistrates realized that they were dealing with a hierarchical organization with a distinct dress code, with an initiation ceremony similar to the one used by the 'Ndrangheta today. But what was the origin of the Calabrian mafia in the 1800s? Professor Dickey argued that the 'Ndrangheta's establishment in the late 19th century was motivated by a combination of politics and violence. In the 1880s, mass politics arrived in Italy, with 25% of Italian males voting. This resulted in an increase in the demand for political violence. Local politicians and the Ministry of the Interior used violence to ensure the election of their preferred candidate. The role of organized crime in this process was significant. As a result, the 'Ndrangheta was able to establish territorial control in southern Calabria, which it still maintains today. The scope to which the 'Ndrangheta have pervaded public and political life in their homeland was described in a leaked 2008 cable from the US diplomatic service in Naples. Calabria, according to the cable, would be a failed state if it were not a part of Italy. The cable depicted it as a place thrashed by the iron grip of the Western Europe's largest and most powerful organized crime syndicate, where no one believes the central government has much, if any, control, and where local politicians are universally regarded as useless and corrupt. We've reached the end of today's video. Please remember to like this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more exciting videos from this channel.